Some people say that I'm living through demons, so I got to
Hey, welcome back to Howard Disc Golf. If you didn't tune into the front nine, I'd recommend going to check it out. I am joined by James Snappy Cole. How you doing, James?
Good. What's up, guys? Thanks for having me, Ben.
Right on. We're just going to get into the back nine of this right here. We got a great card. We're here at the Chickamauga Dam here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is happening right around the time of Thanksgiving. We got a great card coming your way. Snap, tell us about it.
We got Blake Waldron, Dylan Braseel, Chris Dickerson, Will Schusterick, and Dustin Perry. And Dylan Braseel is putting on a show. You guys need to tune into that front nine coverage. He basically went perfect, only missed one hole on the front nine so far, or maybe he missed two. He's killing it. He's definitely has a commanding lead, 2 strokes over Chris Dickerson, number 4 in the world right now. We are going into hole 11, which is a par 4, 780 feet downhill pretty much the whole way. This hole is so long, there is no advantage for going full out distance. These guys are just going to be throwing a nice controlled distance hyzer down this fairway, looking to get a 3. This is definitely a 2-shot hole.
And there's OB over there to the left, right?
Yeah, there's OB left and right, so it kind of bottlenecks down towards the basket, but not so much. It's pretty wide open, just a straight hole. Mm-hmm. Just you can't have an error.
Definitely, because it can hyzer out.
Yeah, I thought that last one too.
Yeah, if you get it up high and it is hyzering around that power tower, the road comes into play pretty quick. You want it to be going straight.
Collarbone crush.
Blake puts a nice move on that, nice and low, just power line. Yeah, 780 feet, so these guys are looking for around 420 feet, so they have a nice little fairway chip down to the basket.
We'll put a good pull on that. Yeah, that's about all you really want.
Yeah, I've definitely cost myself some strokes getting greedy, trying to go massive hyzer flip drive on this hole in years past. Dustin puts a nice hyzer move out there, just a little bit wide. That'll still be putting. It'll be about 40 feet away.
Yep.
Blake ups him up a little bit, maybe about 35 feet away.
Yeah.
Ups him up. What is that? That's nothing. He threw a better shot. Will gets a little bit closer.
For a shot like this, that's a second shot.
That one kind of flipped up too flat for him and didn't get the fade he was looking for, but he's still right there in that range, 38 to 45 feet. That's a nice looking shot by Chris. Just a little low. I guess he had a headwind. Expected it to lift, but he just didn't put the energy on it.
Just a little bit higher.
Oh, just a little too high. Catches that strong chain on top and pushes him out. Yeah. Good birdie putt there by Will.
I like that he takes his time.
Yeah, he's got a solid routine, you know. Even if it's a 10-foot putt, he's still going to go through the routine.
Definitely.
So we got Dylan taking the unfortunate par there. On a course like this, even though this is a par 4, this is fours add up too big on this kind of style. Like there's not much separation. You really want to be birdieing everything and getting your 3 when you're not birdieing. So that was a big miss there. Chris capitalizing, getting his 3, taking that stroke, closing the gap a little bit. Hole 12, it's uphill the whole way, 320 feet. Maybe a 15-foot increase in elevation from tee to pin. Probably makes it play around 340. Most of these guys are going to be gauging their hyzer off this orange tree out to the right of the basket because it is pretty much pin high. Throws it out towards the tree. That's good distance control. Never flirted with hitting the tree and gave himself a very manageable putt there.
Seems like it's thicker grass out here too, so
Yeah, there's not much skip. The grass is pretty tall. Dylan puts a really good move on that one.
oh yeah, great drive.
That one's coming in right at the tree, but it doesn't make any contact. That'll be good.
I got a pretty good skip too.
Yeah. Dustin flirting with that tree as well, but it comes in just inside. Doesn't get that skip that Blake did, though. He'll be a little bit further away. Oh, just a little tickle on the left side chain there. Does that bother you when the cars are driving behind you?
Not really.
Yeah, I can kind of tune it out, but get a couple red cars in a row driving by, you might get distracted. No problem for Chris tapping that birdie in.
That's his thing. He evaluates it and then he goes in for the putt.
Look at it, and then fire.
Focus, son. Good putt. Tap in for real. What a drive. There you go.
Putting with the driver there. Not so happy with his performance today. But there's always next year. All right, Dylan and Chris staying one stroke apart. Blake and Will tied at 10. Going into hole 13 here. This hole is very similar distance to the previous hole because it is flat. It's 374. Personally, I throw the same disc on the same line. It almost plays exactly the same. So these guys got a good read on the wind. It's playing in the same exact direction. I expect to see these guys throwing it close. A little bit wide, but it's looking good. Overstable.
Not that basket.
This is one of the only fairways that you're going to get a generous skip. Like, for some reason, the grass is dormant right there all by the pin, and it skips every time. Will going big wide hyzer. See if he can get some skip. That's just a little too wide, but he is still in putting range. Dylan going with that straight destroyer that he loves. Getting a nice skip.
I got a great skip.
That's a part job. That's a nice angle by Blake.
Sweet.
Yeah, he got that little skip. He's probably going to be right under it.
That's a good pull.
Flipped into straight. That's a very similar line to what Dylan did. He gets the same skip.
That was a great drive.
Blake from about 45. Just a little weak side. He says it's so bad.
Hey,
Dustin makes good.
there you go. He needs that, man.
Looks like he's feeling like too little too late.
Yep.
There's still 5 holes left. 6 holes left for these guys. Or 5 holes.
Dylan needs to make this. No doubt.
Yeah, 6 holes left for these guys, so.
Sometimes even those 15-footers can be in those pressure moments.
Yeah, you got to have a routine. You got to know what you're doing. You put yourself in the same mental state. Put yourself in the backyard. I've done this 1,000 times. Just throw it in there.
Blake's.
These guys tapping in their pars. They know that was one they needed, so they're not happy. All right, same story. Blake and Will tied at 10, and Dylan and Chris will take a stroke on the card. Well, Dustin's making moves right now too, but going into hole 14, this is one of my favorite holes on the course. I love throwing a roller and just seeing it roll up the hill around those trees. Sidearm's not a bad play. Now that there was a tree hanging down at the first third of the fairway that made it a really low ceiling. That way it forced you into the sidearm of the roller, but now it's gone. So the backhand's a play, but that roller's just really fun. It's a super cool shot. Chris does it beautifully. Dylan's going with the sidearm, which is a play that I like as well, but that is a little tight. Oof. Oh, and it catches a limb. If that would have went away clean, he might have had a great putt, but he'll be about 50 feet away, which is not what you want. Get a skip.
There you go. Riding that momentum from that last hole.
Right down the center. Looks like Will's eyeing up the roller as well, but it comes out a little early. That looks like a really flippy disc. Still got away with it. That's in putting range. This guy's got a great sidearm.
Man, that's the exact
So
play.
smooth.
Oh.
Just a little bit wide, but that was
Man.
a brilliant throw. Get it.
Oh,
Just
man.
over the top.
Right over.
Yes, right over it.
Right
He
over
was
it.
really, really wanting that one.
Oh, gosh. I mean, that was basically perfect.
It's hard, in these pressure situations to not push. You have to just let it happen. You play your game. You stay to your game plan, and you can't try to make moves. You just have to let it happen for you.
Man, talk
That's
about
a great recovery.
Talk about a clutch putt, too.
Dylan's game plan is to run everything because whenever he's 40 feet away, he can make the putt. There is no comeback putt that he's scared of.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a pretty steep grade right there. Maybe he just didn't read enough of the hill into the play.
Yeah, we'll just tapping in his par there. Wow.
Everybody manages to get out of there without hitting the basket and rolling back down the hill. Usually I see somebody do that every year.
Did it happen to someone on your card?
It happened to me a couple times. You can go back to the previous years and see it. All my bad putts out here. But these guys are playing pretty solid. Dylan saving the par, but that brings a tie on top of this chase card. Oh, this is an epic battle. Hole 15. This is a really cool hole. This is another signature hole out here. Super cool par 4 with this new playground out to the side. Very downhill off the tee. OB out to the right, and those rocks to the left are OB. And then right behind the basket, long also is out. Yeah, there's a variety of plays here. Just long, slow turnover, which is what Chris is doing here, or a roller or a sidearm. Both those are pretty good shots on this hole. Ooh, barely catches that tight side limb.
About to hit Colton. Wow.
He got hit during last year's coverage. That was pretty close there. Will is so good at these turnover shots.
God, dude, it's just soaring.
That thing just kept turning over.
God,
I remember watching that thinking, like, he's thrown that same shot, like, every year on this hole.
Gosh.
Boom. He's got so much sidearm power. That was like
Man.
pure hyzer.
That is a monstrous flick.
Alright, so we got Dustin from about 350. Maybe a little bit longer. That's looking good. He hit the tree. That tree's about pin high, so he's maybe 25, 30 feet away. Chris coming in right at that tree as well. I like the sidearm play here. Takes going long out of the equation for sure. You're not going to go OB left, and you're not going to go long. All right, everybody's setting himself up for a pretty easy par, or birdie on this par 4 here.
Will recommend orange sauce.
Yeah, looking like everybody's inside the circle. Boom. Looking like a star frame here. Oh no.
I feel like maybe he just rushed it a little bit.
Maybe I just jinxed it because I haven't seen it yet. Jinxing it. Yeah, he didn't go through any kind of routine. He just stepped up and fired it. Yep, you got to give them small putts the credit that they deserve. Do your thing, make it go in. Got a nice little shot of the lock over there at the dam. So Dylan and Chris will remain tied. Blake and Will remain tied, 4 strokes back. And we got Dustin hanging out at 8. Moving into hole 16, 299 feet, OB right and left and long. These finishing holes are great, man. They're super dangerous, and it puts the pressure on to score. You have to attack, and there could be some pretty big swing on this hole and the next hole. This is where the tournament is won, right here. Chris throwing a nice straight shot, skipping off the sidewalk. That did not get the fade he was looking for, but he got away with it.
I like this play.
Dylan going sidearm Firebird. He's never going to go long with a Firebird on 299.
That sucked.
That didn't suck. You can make that, Dylan. It's within Dylan range. Looks like Will had a putter in his hand, and that was not a good throw.
Oh, that thing out wide.
Blake lining up that sidearm. He threw it really high, but he had a nice amount of turn on it. Something really overstable. That thing just knifed down by the basket.
I like that shot.
Dustin
too.
taking
Wide
my
Heiser.
line. The big Spike Heiser.
Tombstone.
I have done that every year. Either I throw it over the trash can under those limbs, or I Spike Heiser it.
There you go, Will.
Will should be able to save the par there.
Came out a little wobbly.
Dylan knew that he was just a little outside his range. Maybe he talked himself into being outside of his range. That was a putt that he needed.
Heck yeah. Way to
Yeah.
get it up.
That's a great birdie.
All right. This is to take the lead on the card here.
Taking his time.
Going through the motions, doing the routine. Just another putt.
It's another putt.
As long as you do it the same way every time, it's just another putt.
I feel like he knew.
He's got a little grin. He
Yeah,
knows.
I feel like he knew.
He's playing it in his head. He knows what's going on.
You can hear the people in the background playing at the playground.
Man, I wish Dylan would get his stuff together and get out there on tour, because he could be a world-ranked golfer for sure. That's the thing, you know, you do this stuff week in, week out like Chris does. There's no fear. It's like you're just waiting for the mistakes. Playing the easy holes good and just waiting for the mistakes to capitalize on. Here we go. This is the pivotal moment in the round, hole 17. Super tough par 3. They moved the basket in a little tighter to this tree, making it more sidearm friendly this year. It's a long sidearm to clear that water. Pretty tough shot. Chris just going with the straight line approach. Doesn't want to hit any trees because there's OB out to the right also. That's a good shot. Going to be a long putt.
No, go ahead.
He said, just rub it in.
Blake trying to work him. Throwing a really nice looking sidearm there.
God, that is so crazy.
Oh, man.
That is a crush.
He has got some power on the sidearm, man. That
Goodness, man. Torque.
just putting it out over the water the whole way like that. That's faith. Trust in your sidearm ability.
What do you normally throw on this one?
Well, you know, me and Dylan practice this hole. We play doubles together, and we've been talking about a little flex line around that tree. I think that's what he was trying for, but he just didn't get the turn on it. So I tried to do the shot that we had talked about as being the best shot. I did not succeed.
Hold it.
That looked really good.
Yeah, that was excellent pool.
I think, you know, that shape that they just made was a good shape, but you want to go around the back of that brown tree. You know, just turn around the brown tree and then flex. That's the perfect line for a backhand right-hand player. Just like that. Just kind of hooked up a little bit early. Yeah, the bucket's about 40 feet behind that, or 25 to 30 feet behind that tree. Oh, man, what a good step putt. Man, that's easily 50 feet.
Dylan really needs this one.
This is his money zone. He practices these all the time. He's got a great spin pitch putt. Yeah.
Dude, no doubt. He is on fire right now, man. Playing great golf.
Just not feeling it today. Sidearm smashy park job by Blake, man. What a good shot.
CTP, son.
I don't even think he threw like a maximum distance driver on that shot. I think he just put a hurting on a fairway driver.
That's a statement there. Taking in some of the views here.
Yeah, this is a pretty sweet track. It'd be nice to have it permanent for a while.
Agreed.
So we have the same story. Chris maintaining that one-stroke lead over Dylan. These guys are playing phenomenal. They are on fire this round. They are making a move into the lead card, which I don't know if they are aware of or not, but they got 2 holes left to play, so this one, there's just a big wall of trees right there the drone flew through. It is almost an impenetrable wall. In years past, it was a little bit more open, but those limbs are just like getting droopier and filling up the gap a lot more, so all you can do is throw one straight at it and hope it's low enough to skip under them. But it almost, like Dylan said, you could hear him say distance driver. Like, it's only 329, but you have to be skipping, like, you have to have a 40-foot skip right there under those limbs, so it's got to be something fast. Does his best to keep it low, get that fade. Man, that was just perfect.
You can't throw it any better than that.
No, that's how you draw it up on Tiger Woods right there.
Tap L1, tap
Yeah,
R1.
L1. Boom. Get a little counter skip. Come on. A little bit, but it just wasn't high enough. Will throwing that pure turnover. I like that line a lot. You know, you just play in the hill and it gets a nice little ride out of it, but again, just a little bit too low. Better than high on this hole for sure. Dustin is just so good at these straight lines, but man,
If it would have dropped
blocked
another
off
foot,
by the wall. Like, if this was a permanent course, we'd be allowed to maintain it, and that would be gone. But oh man, that was a long bid. That would have been awesome.
Gave it a valiant bid. Oh, man, he's just barely missing those. And then Blake with the park job. You don't see that every day. Probably because it's a 10 course.
I bet you he's thinking back to hole 10 where he snuck through.
Yeah, that little spit out.
I bet you he was thinking about that one. Oh, it just hit the front of the bucket, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like everyone's about to be tapping out. Dustin still has a little bit of a tester, but nothing too crazy. Salvage the par, and sometimes that's all it takes. Nah, it's all good, brother.
All right, so we got Chris maintaining that one-stroke lead over Dylan. These guys have put on a great showing, just birdieing all these holes. Now we're going to go into this final hole. Height control is everything on this one. If you throw it too low and too flat, it's going to go out in that parking lot. This one is actually shortened a little bit from previous years to where you can actually see the basket off the tee pad. Normally you cannot, so that was very helpful. Blake putting the big hyzer out there. Getting a little bit of a bad skip. That was a good looking shot though. You know, the plan is to throw it high enough to where it just digs into the ground and doesn't get the skip. Chris pretty much achieved that there. Didn't get much of a skip, just finished right next to the basket.
Is that the destroyer?
Yeah, Dylan throwing that same destroyer over and over again. He talked me into throwing a faster disc on this hole. I was going to throw a putter just straight at it because you can see the basket, but he's like, nope, you got to throw a hyzer. So,
Man, Will's put that one up in the clouds. Wow.
yeah,
He's banged
that was
it.
a nice check too. Stayed pretty close. Dustin missing a little bit left side.
Oh, man. What a putt to end it.
Just seal the deal there. Say, sorry, bud, but I win.
Yeah. What a battle, though.
That was a good battle. I enjoyed watching them fight.
Dylan putting up a heck of a challenge.
Yep, he needs to get out there and be doing it more often. Oh, unfortunate for Blake, but he has got some potential. He's going to be a force here in the next couple years if he stays dedicated to the game. It's a brutal sport, man. It'll teach you lessons in patience and determination for sure. Like, there's been a lot of times where the game has beat me up and made me want to quit, but you got to come back stronger with more determination to practice and to fix your weaknesses. So,
For sure.
looking forward to seeing more of these guys. Chris putting on a great show as usual. Mr. Consistent, as they call him.
Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken. Yeah, Chris actually jumped into second place there, and Dylan managed to sneak one stroke ahead of me again for like the third time in a row. He always beats me by one stroke now. But yeah, you got Brandon Brown finishing in fifth, Aiden Harris, which is a phenomenal player, and Blake Waldron tying. Will Schusterick finishing up in ninth, Idris Garcia, local player, in 10th, Nathaniel Romans in 11th.
Dustin
Yeah.
got 12th.
Big shout out to everyone that helped, all the locals that helped put this damn course up. This is temporary, so it's a big effort getting all these baskets out and taking them up, and all these flags. We have to get all these out of there. So everybody that helped set up and take down, Kevin Turner for putting on the tournament, and huge shout out to Colton Calloway for giving us these drone clips.
Definitely, man.
Tennessee Disc Golf.
Tennessee Disc Golf. If you want to see Snappy play,
Yeah,
he's on lead card.
Yeah, check out that lead card coverage. It'll be out soon. All right, guys. Howard Disc Golf out.
Out.
Let's make a change. Let's make a change. Let's make a change.
All right. Say cheese. That's good. Perfect.
Thank you, Ben.
Yep.